You're listening to WICR, Iona College Radio.
From the third floor in the Murphy Center here at Iona College, this is your host, The Rock is on Tapala, on this Thursday, February 4th, 2016. And now we are only 3 days away from Super Bowl 50 being played between the number one seed in the AFC, the Denver Broncos, going up against the number one seed in the NFC, and the Carolina Panthers. Now, after giving it so much thought and looking into the stats thoroughly and putting a lot of time and effort into this, I finally came up with a Super Bowl prediction and who's going to win. And my prediction is I believe that the Denver Broncos are going to defeat the Carolina Panthers 20-17, and the Broncos will capture their third Lombardi Trophy in franchise history. And Peyton Manning, who I refer him to as the Sheriff, he's going to walk out of Levi Stadium with the Lombardi Trophy and ride into the sunset, a la John Elway in Super Bowl 33 against the Falcons. But now, some people may disagree with me, saying, "Oh, how can this Denver defense go up against the Carolina Panthers?" Or because the Panthers' offense, they're so dynamic, they're so explosive, they're elusive. Cam Newton's the unanimous MVP. He's going to make the plays that he needs to. And I'm not going to disparage Cam with that because, he is unanimous MVP, I believe. If I had to vote for him, I would vote for him the MVP. But there's a history point to this. And this is the seventh time in which the number one ranked offense went up against the number one ranked defense in the NFL going into the Super Bowl. And in 5 of those previous 6 times, the team with the number one ranked defense went up against won and hosted the Lombardi Trophy against the team with the number one ranked offense, which shows you, defense wins championships in the NFL. And I think the Broncos have that going for them, and I thoroughly believe that defense does win you championships in the NFL. The only time that a number one ranked defense lost to the number one ranked offense in the Super Bowl was Super Bowl 24, when the 49ers demolished the Denver Broncos 55-10, and Joe Montana setting a Super Bowl record then, throwing 5 touchdowns in the game, which was later broken by Steve Young, 5 years later in Super Bowl 29 against the Chargers. But referring to Super Bowl 50, I believe that in order for the Broncos to win, they have to do 2 main things, 2 things that are crucial. And that is, it's imperative, and I mean it's imperative, that they establish a running game. Because in the AFC title game against the New England Patriots, the Broncos as a team had 30 carries for 99 yards, which was just a little over 3 yards a carry. 3 yards a carry, 3 yards per rush or 3 yards a carry is not going to win you ball games in the NFL. That's just a proven fact. So Ronnie Hillman and C.J. Anderson, they have to find the lanes and make plays for this Broncos offense, and just take the pressure off Peyton Manning from having to make the long throw, because we all know that he's regressed and his plays in decline, and he can't throw the ball as deep as he once used to. But they gotta establish the running game and just keep it out of Peyton's hands, because that was their key. Because by running the ball and taking the pressure out of Peyton's hands, they have a better chance of winning. Plus, I believe that this is kind of reminiscent to like Super Bowl 32, in which the Denver Broncos defeated the Green Bay Packers 31-24. John Elway, he made the throws, or he made the plays that he had to, but they didn't place all the emphasis, or that Bronco offense didn't place all the emphasis on him. They had a running game. They had a great running back in Terrell Davis, who was unanimous MVP in that game, in which he had 3 touchdowns and 30 carries and 157 yards. And I believe that the Broncos just need to run the game, or run the ball, just to have a chance in the game. Because if they don't establish the running game, worst case scenario, Carolina's offense, tears apart this Denver defense, it's going to be another long day for Peyton Manning and company. And secondly, I believe that the wide receivers, Demaryius Thomas and Emmanuel Sanders, need to hold on to the football, because they're dropping too many passes. It was proven in the divisional round against the Steelers, which they almost lost, but they forced a turnover at the end, and they came back and won. But you can't have drop passes in the NFL, because they're so demoralizing, and they just change momentum, and they sway momentum so easily. It can change the momentum of games so easily. So Demaryius Thomas and Emmanuel Sanders just need to hold on to the ball, and they need to make plays down the stretch. So I believe that if the Broncos just do those things, and if they do those things, they establish the running game. Payne makes the plays that he has to. Doesn't force anything, because we know that he's not the player that he once was, and that the Bronco wide receivers can hold on to the ball. They will be Super Bowl champions in Super Bowl 50. So let's hope for a Broncos win.